Hello and welcome. My name is Scott and I'm the technical advisor for the online programs offered through Distance Minnesota. We're here today to talk about how to write an essay for college scholarships. But first, let's take a quick look at how to find out about scholarships. The best thing to do right away is to contact the school's financial aid office about available scholarships for the upcoming semester. Either they or someone they work with will have the information needed. Some of the information they have could include a list of available scholarships, information about previous winners, or information about the organization or sponsor that's offering the scholarship. You should also check on the deadline for scholarship applications. A late application is the same as no application. Each college has its own general policy for scholarship deadlines. However, some scholarships have their own deadline different from the general college one. At this time, the deadline for scholarship applications for the spring 2013 term at Alexandria Technical and Community College is November 20th. The Northland Community and Technical College website has no specific information listed, but they do say to check back for availability of spring scholarships later. Northwest Technical College lists their scholarship deadlines as January and March for the following school year. Remember, the scholarships may have an application date that is different from the school's. Now let's look at one of the scholarships found at Alexandria Technical and Community College as our guide for writing an application letter for that scholarship. The Eagles, number 3063, is a scholarship offered for the spring semester. It is a $200 scholarship and there is one available. The requirements are that you be a high school graduate, at least 26 years old, and that you include a short essay about why you are returning to school. What we are going to focus on is gaining the information required to write an essay that will help you stand out from the average applicant. First, let's break down the scholarship. A typical scholarship has three main parts of information. These parts are 1, the sponsor, who is the group or individual providing the scholarship; 2, the scholarship describing what is awarded and when; and 3, the requirements you must meet to qualify for the scholarship. We know the sponsor for this scholarship is Eagles number 3063. We need to ask ourselves a couple of questions. Who are Eagles 3063, and what is their goal, mission, or reason for offering the scholarship? There are a couple of things we can do to help us find additional information about the sponsor. Ask the financial aid office for more information about the organization or person. We can also do our own research to find out additional information. I Googled it and found the following at www.alexandriaeagles3063.com. For this example, I copied their mission statement, which says, "The Fraternal Order of Eagles, an international, nonprofit organization, unites fraternally in the spirit of liberty, truth, justice, and equality, to make human life more desirable by lessening its ills and by promoting peace, prosperity, gladness, and hope." They also have a motto, which is, "If I cannot speak well of an eagle, I will not speak ill of him." From this information, we are able to understand that the Eagles number 3063 are a service and support-oriented group for the community. The information in this example lets us know that we need to write our essay while focusing more on our volunteer work and service-oriented help that we have provided others. The second part of the information is about the scholarship itself. Here we mainly just want to check and verify our information by answering a few questions. Is it a scholarship for the upcoming semester? Is there more than one scholarship being awarded? What is the date I have to have all my materials submitted? By the way, you can submit your application for the scholarship before the due date. I actually recommend submitting it a couple of days ahead of schedule. With the winters in Minnesota, you never know what could come up. Let's move on to the requirements section of the scholarship. Each scholarship has its own list of requirements. For this one, we can see that the requirements are being a high school graduate, at least 26 years old, and writing an essay about why you are returning to school. Some additional requirements can include being a non-traditional student. Non-traditional can actually mean a couple of different things. First, it can mean someone coming back to school after being away for years. For example, our scholarship is a good example of this, and it has a requirement that the student be at least 26 years old. Non-traditional could also mean a non-traditional student as it relates to a program. An example of this is a female student enrolled in a welding program. Welding has been traditionally referred to as a male-dominated program, so a female student in the welding program is also considered non-traditional. Other typical possibilities are male in a nursing program, females in construction, males in cosmetology, and so forth. Scholarships may ask that a student has graduated from a specific high school or lived in a specific county. It may require good attendance or a high GPA. Some scholarships are only awarded to students in a particular program. There are many possibilities as to what could be required to apply for a particular scholarship. Make sure you review each item to ensure you qualify. There may also be preferred requirements. This doesn't disqualify you. It just means that you're at a disadvantage if someone meeting the preferred requirements applies. After you have verified that you qualify for the scholarship, it is time to gather information needed to write an essay. You're going to want to make a list of names and dates. Some of the information you will need to pull together will include the names of the organizations where you have volunteered or gained experience that applies to the scholarship, dates you were with the organization, and names of those who know you. For names, I recommend referring to adults you worked with by title, such as Mr. Smith, Dr. Smith, and so on. I recommend referring to anyone under the age of 18 by their first name only. By only using the first name, you are able to tell the story without revealing a minor's identity. Try to be specific when telling stories. Include experiences. Don't just say in September of 2009 I was a volunteer with my church group. Be specific. Like in this example. In August of 2009, while volunteering with my church group, I got to teach John how to cast while using a flywheel. You can even go further and talk about the excitement or joy that was felt. People are better able to connect with a person's story if emotions are involved. Now that we have the information needed, we are ready to begin writing. First, we start with the introduction. The introduction is the most important part of an essay. There are likely many students applying for the same scholarship, and you need to grab the attention and interest of the reader to help make your essay stand out. As this is the most important part of the scholarship essay, it is suggested that this section take the most time to write. Some of the tips I found include using your own words. Too often people attempt to use high-level vocabulary or a quote to grab the audience's attention. This isn't necessarily a bad idea, it just becomes uninteresting to the audience when you hear the same type of introduction repeated over and over again. Remember, there can be a lot of people applying for the same scholarship, so you want to find something that makes you stand out from the crowd. Tell a story. Take a personal experience in your life that influenced your decision in education and turn it into a story that will grab the attention of the audience. This story should attempt to form a personal connection to the audience. This personal connection will draw in the audience as they will be able to relate to your experience. Mention how the scholarship will aid you. Be careful not to sound like you are begging, but make it meaningful. It should be made clear how the scholarship will aid you in completing your goals. Mention your goals. Getting a degree isn't the goal you should mention, but how is the degree going to assist you in reaching your goal? Talk about the career you are pursuing and how it will allow you to give back to society. This is a brief overview consisting of 1 to 2 sentences, as you will go more into depth on your goals in the body of the essay. Take your time with the introduction. As mentioned before, this is the most important part of the essay as it needs to grab the attention and garnish the interest of the audience. This is where you separate yourself from the rest of the applicants. The next part of the scholarship essay is the body. This is where you want to address each of the scholarship requirements. In addition to the requirements listed for the scholarship, you want to spend a paragraph on each of the following topics. Involvement in clubs and organizations. This is where the information you gathered before really comes in handy. Talk about the clubs and organizations you were involved in. Mention experiences that you had with the organizations. When writing about experiences, make sure you mention the challenges involved and how you overcame them. Be specific, use names, dates, and activities that you were involved with. Spend more time on your goals and how the program is going to help you fulfill these goals. Some ideas may include you're going to be transferring to a four-year institution, seek an internship, enter the job market, and the types of job you will be seeking. Talk about the skills you have gathered throughout your life and how they are a benefit to a student enrolled in your current program. This is the area where you sell yourself. You're trying to show the sponsor that you are the best possible representative of the scholarship being offered. Finally, we move on to the closing of the essay. First, there is no need to summarize the essay. A scholarship essay is generally a short essay, so there's no need to summarize. If you have a quote you want to use, this is where you want to add the quote to your essay. Make sure that the quote relates to the essay and that it was an inspiration to you. Briefly review how you meet the qualifications for the scholarship and talk about the importance of the scholarship in meeting your goals. Finish the scholarship with a thank you for your consideration type of closing. Here is some additional information you may want to keep in mind. Have someone proofread your essay for errors and sentence flow. Just like any professional writing piece, you want to make sure the grammar is correct. If you need a letter of recommendation, it is polite to request the letter at least a month ahead of the date you need it. You'll also want to receive the letter a couple of days ahead of the scholarship due date to ensure that there are no problems. Make sure the letters are from people who know you in a professional capacity. These people can include teachers, advisors, clergy, and supervisors at work, or the place you work at as a volunteer. Be honest in the essay. Tell true stories and how you gained experience throughout your life. If you receive the scholarship, make sure to write a thank you letter, or at least a note thanking the committee. You don't need to write a letter to each person, but write one to the sponsor and include how much you appreciate the help. And remember, the more you know about the sponsor or committee reviewing the essay, the more you are able to customize your essay by focusing on the experiences and skills that you have in common. I hope this has been helpful, and please feel free to contact your online advisor if you have any additional questions. And we're here to help you 7 days a week. You can look at us at distanceminnesota.org. Thank you.